Here in the sports world, participants strive to attain wins and avoid losses. In January, the most dramatic loss for Thompson athletics was that of its cherished voice. My heart still aches over the unforeseen death of legendary play-by-play broadcaster Jerry Young. The man I knew was worthy of all the various accolades shared thus far in 2024. He remains deeply missed. Having worked with Jerry since 2012, I witnessed all the love he had for his chosen career path. He was thrilled that it eventually led him to Thompson High School. My vantage point allowed me to see Jerry put his entire self into every call he made. Fans heard it in his voice each time he put on the headset for the Warrior Nation Network. When it came to football season, Jerry never allowed a Friday night to go to waste. He always made it a point to arrive at the stadium early, as he had spent his entire week on all the required homework, constantly thinking up ways to make his broadcast even better. His workplace was his sanctuary. The stadium lights were his North Star. He could not wait to make his way back week after week and year after year. It felt like home. Whether it was a gutsy 2-yard gain up the middle, an 80-yard bomb for a touchdown, or a booming punt to secure better field position, Jerry never allowed his listeners to disengage from the intense action on the field.
It's a good snap. It's on the way. It's high enough. It's long enough. It's good. It's good. It's good. They win it. They win it. They win it. Thompson is the 7A state champs. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What a game. What a game. What a game. Woo!
Every moment he articulated accumulated to tell the story of the night. His passion was simply unmatched. As a resident of Alabaster, Jerry's love of calling the competition became rivaled only by his love of the community for which he was calling it for. And yet, it was everything I experienced with him away from the action that helped me fully form the opinions I hold about the man behind the microphone. Jerry always saw the position he had earned as a giant responsibility. If you ever attended a Thompson Warriors athletic event that Jerry was calling, then you likely saw him working through the crowd at a certain point. Jerry loved engaging with loyal fans. He would talk with them in the stands, at the gates, and in the parking lot long after the game had wrapped, or connect later with them via social media. He was as much of an ambassador as he was a lead announcer. Whether the team was competing at home or away, Jerry always tried to secure face-to-face connections with those who arrived to support the students. We could never complete our journey to the press box without someone stopping to talk with Jerry. It was undoubtedly his favorite part of the job, those connections. He genuinely cared about every single person he spoke with. It was very meaningful to him. The interpersonal moments I witnessed with the Warrior faithful are what actually produced the secret sauce of Jerry's beloved broadcast style. Once we got up to the booth and the game got underway, Jerry would take immense pride in documenting all the exciting in-game chapters that he knew would one day become cherished memories for the ones directly involved down on the field of play.
Takes the snap, back to pass, rushed, it hits the umpire's intercepted. Intercepted on the left side. We're loose to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Peter Woods takes it in. No flags. It hit the official, bounced straight to Peter Woods. We'll take it any way we can get it.
He never mailed it in. He gave everything he had during every competition he ever covered. Jerry's role was too important for him to rest on reputation alone. But now, as he takes his final rest, the reputation that he worked so diligently to earn lies in the hands of the people who knew him best. Along the way, there were longtime professionals whom he enthusiastically collaborated with, premier athletes and coaches whom he covered with respect, a loving family that gave him the freedom and support to cement his legacy, and a faction of young broadcasters, turned friends, like me, who only hope to continue making the voice of the Thompson Warriors proud. And throughout this season and all of those to come, we will miss him and the impact that he had with the gifts that he shared with all of us in the broadcast booth.
Ice is a proud supporter of Thompson Athletics and the Alabaster City School System. Be sure to get a refreshing Kona Ice with your favorite flavor at all Thompson home games, and know that with every purchase, you're supporting our Warriors. We love giving back because we love being a part of our community. We're not just a business, we're here to help people. We're mobile, we're fun, and we're stocked with the most delicious flavors you've ever tasted. Poto's Boutique is a proud sponsor of Thompson Athletics. Ladies, are you looking for casual and cute outfits, accessories, or the newest fashion trends? Poto's has you covered. Follow us at Poto's Boutique on Facebook and Instagram, or stop by our store on Highway 31 in Calera.
Welcome back into Alabama. first game of the Thompson Warriors 2024-25 football season, which leads us to remind you that in sports, every point counts, and at Alpha Insurance, they know when it comes to your budget, every dollar counts. That's why they work to get you the lowest rates and best discounts available. Make sure to call Alpha agent Dustin Ellison at 205-668-6928. That's 668-6928. It's 83 degrees right now here on the campus of Thompson High School with absolutely no rain in sight currently. The atmosphere here tonight is already electric as the Warriors are getting ready to kick off the season against Grayson, and there's a lot of football to discuss this season with the brand new voice of the Warriors, Matthew Moyer. Matthew, welcome to the desk and welcome to the team.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here. Couldn't be more excited about this incredible opportunity. And to work alongside you and John is just amazing, and so it's really a blessing. Thank you.
Absolutely. Matthew, quick question for you. What has impressed you most so far about your time spent here at Thompson?
The family atmosphere. I got really lucky and was able to do some baseball and some softball last spring and got a little taste of the Thompson family. And then coming to practice and getting ready for tonight's game, it's an incredible family atmosphere here. And like you said in the first segment, there's so many things nowadays that divide us, and sports brings us together, and nowhere more that I've seen than Thompson. I was at the pep rally earlier today. Amazing atmosphere. The grills are going. It sounds and smells like football, and I love it.
I don't know about you, Matthew, but those grills are not safe with me around because I will go take something off of someone's grill even before it's cooled off. John, I know it's hard to beat a Friday night here at Warrior Stadium, but I'm enjoying some of the energy that we are already seeing here on this Thursday night. Who are some of the key players you'll have your eyes on tonight as a lot of these young athletes are ready to finally hit someone else for a chance?
Yes, when it comes to the first game of the season, there's a lot of names you remember from the season before that you're really looking forward to. And, the two that stand out, I think, one on offense, one on defense, that everybody's going to go to is Trent Seaborn at quarterback, is Anquan Fagans. But one I can't wait to see is one we didn't really get to see last year, Jared Smith. That's a name that, was a part of a lot of storylines last year, and that is somebody I can't wait to see out there in that Thompson red, just absolutely smack somebody. Had a good career at Spain Park, and I can't wait to see him out there on that defensive front here for Thompson. And so that's a name I'm really looking forward to, on top of the ones that we've already talked about a lot, leading up to the season, like I said, like Trent, like Anquan that you already know of. But on the offensive side, somebody I'm really looking forward to is Michael Dujon, who's been kind of that second guy behind A.J. Green and was even a third guy a couple of years ago. But he has stuck with it. He's worked very hard. He's been a really good ball runner, and I can't wait to see something like that as well.
Matthew, most would consider a sophomore quarterback to still be very young and inexperienced, but that's not the case with Trent Seaborn, who's already excelled in so many high-pressure situations over the past few seasons, and is a player you've got to be extremely excited about covering for the remainder of his Thompson career.
No doubt about it. We did a segment earlier with Donette on the weekly Warrior preview. She talked about the weight that he put on. He really is starting to look like a young man. When he was in that 8th grade season, still had a little bit of that kid to it. Not anymore. That is a grown man out there. So, yes, sir, very excited to
It's so hot, right, for a 10th grader to be a veteran quarterback. Just saying those words.
Yeah.
It's like, are you kidding?
That is definitely the case here. John, both Thompson and Grayson, who once again is based out of Georgia, were playing in the month of December last year. Both want to win their titles this year. Is Grayson the real deal over in Georgia? Because if you simply look at their record, you may think they're coming in a little bit as a wounded animal.
Yeah, look, overall, is Grayson the real deal? Yes. Grayson is a team that I think in the past how teams were usually compared to Hoover, you can make that same comparison. Once they moved to the 7 classification system over there, they were a top dog, an easy top dog. They played Hoover and Ramsey 2 years in a row when Hoover and Ramsey both were the respective 6A and 7A state champions here and beat them pretty good. So they are a team, and they claim – I want to say they claim at least 2 national championships of public schools, because once you take out IMG and Mater Dei and all those places, then you kind of get to the public schools. But they claim national championships, kind of like Hoover has done in the past during the Rush Probst time. So this is a school that, when you think of the top schools in the country, they always come to mind. Now, they are 0-1 so far this season. They did lose last week. Georgia started a week before we did. So they are coming in a little bit as a wounded animal. They lost, I believe, to Milton in the playoffs last year, who is a team that Thompson didn't see, but Thompson played at Milton 2 years ago, and they lost to Buford. And then Milton played Lipscomb Academy and looked really, really solid. So they are a top dog in Georgia. But when you think of the top teams, whereas here you say Thompson, Central Phoenix City, Auburn, I'll still throw Hoover in there.
You're feeling very charitable tonight, John. Very charitable.
For now. But, when it comes to Georgia, it's Milton, it's Buford, it's Grayson, Colquitt County, all these teams that we know, but Grayson is definitely a player every single year, and they are looking forward to getting back to not only the semifinals where they went out, but to win the whole thing potentially.
Once again, Collins Hill stunned state title favorite Grayson in their season opener last week, 20-19. After a dominant first half, Grayson was outscored 17-0 in the second half at home. You have to believe, Matthew, that this team tonight is looking to try to test Thompson and get back on their feet.
Yes, no doubt about it. I had a chance to take in that game. Andre Fuller is a defensive end, number 9. Keep an eye on him tonight. Everyone's going to have their eyes on 16. That's Tyler Atkinson. When you flip over to the offensive side of the ball, I was impressed by Travis Burgess. He is their quarterback. He's 6'6", and that helps him see the field very well. But Elijah Miller, number 3, the running back, and 13, Aiden Taylor, a wide receiver. Keep an eye on those guys as well.
We definitely will, for sure. We are proud to call Thompson home, and if you're looking for a great round of golf or a new club to call home, then look no further than Timberline Golf Club of Calera. An award-winning course at a reasonable price, Timberline offers something for every golfer. Timberline is also the home to state-of-the-art TrackMan driving range. Call or visit them online at timberlinegc.com and book your tee time today. Let's now go ahead and check in with head football coach Mark Freeman, who is getting his team ready to take the field yet again following another successful offseason, as we now hear from the leader of the Thompson Warriors.
I love the way they have prepared. I think we had a great offseason. I think that we've got one of the best character teams we've had as far as everybody getting along. I love their spirit. We don't have that guy that drags around at practice. We don't have that guy that mully grubs. I think it's a good collective group of young men, and they're joy. They're fun to coach. You know, we're not having to do a lot of hollering right now at practice. We're coaching them hard, but their effort and their heart is great. So I mean, you can't ask anything more from a player than to give you his best, and I think we get their best. I just think that we've got to create a little bit more to go with their best. We got to create some stuff we haven't done here, maybe, to get what they can do to fit what we've been doing. I know that they're ready to go play. We need to get the game next week, to get some experience under our belt. So when the region gets going, because we're playing a lot of young people, a lot of even some of the older kids have not started before, so that matters. And I think they got to get a game under their belt. You know, it's just we got to go play our first game against a team this will be the 7th time they've put their pads on to go compete, and we got to overcome that. And early in the game, I think there'll be a adjustment to their team speed that we haven't seen in practice and things like that. So I think we think long term, and I think these games are good for us. I think as a team, you want to play it quarter by quarter, of course, play by play. You know, the old adage, you know, the cliche play by play. We do want to play by play, but I think we want to play quarter to quarter right now and try to catch ourselves up to what the experience that we need to get. Like when we played Buford 2 years ago, it was a lot like this. It was their 6th or 7th time to be in pads, play a game, compete. It took us, I felt like a half. You know, we had a chance at that game to be up at half, and we were actually down 7-0, I think. So, I mean, we just got to go in and weather the storm early, the first half. And if we can go in halftime and have a little bit of experience and see team speed, we got a great chance to win the game.
I'm Dr. Michael Patterson, orthopedic surgeon specializing in sports medicine. I've been fortunate since I've been an Alabaster to be the team physician for Thompson High School. Been there 14 years. basically take care of the athlete, and that includes ankle sprains to shoulder injuries to neck and back injuries that occur during sports. We also have training room out of those schools. We're there to evaluate their injuries and make sure they can safely return to sports, and we try to provide, again, the best care anywhere in the country at Thompson High School. Go Warriors!
Welcome back in. We are winding down the hour and getting closer to kickoff here at Warrior Stadium. It's still not too late to make your way out here to Thompson to see the very first game of the season firsthand. If you can't make it, however, be sure to check out our coverage at warriornationnetwork.org. But first, a reminder, is it time to start thinking about home or office carpet cleaning? Maybe you're looking for a deep carpet clean or just a simple refresh. Look no further than Steamworks, a proud sponsor of Thompson Athletics, fast and reliable with no hidden fees or upsells. That's important. All cleanings include pre-spray and deodorizer. Fast, reliable, and affordable. Call Steamworks at 205-365-1908 and refresh those carpets today. John, the Warriors were last seen at Bryant-Denny Stadium walking off the field following a rare championship loss. It's not a rare appearance for the Warriors, but it was a rare loss in what was a very competitive contest. We were there to call it, and the team fought until the very end of that game. The team this year seems very aware they're going to have to be prepared to continue to get everyone's best shot week after week, game after game. To be the hunted is something these Warriors have got to be used to at this point.
Yeah, they do. And, look, they turned it into multiple championships and still making the title game last year. Let's also not forget this. We're starting a new playoff system this year. I feel like it hasn't really been talked about that much. But when it comes to the playoffs, it's not just Region 3 is going to run over Region 4 and then play each other. There's a legitimate chance you could have Thompson and Hewitt-Trussville in the championship, Thompson and Vestavia, Hoover, and you name it, could potentially be in the championship. So that's something that not only Thompson's going to have to get ready for, but everybody in the whole state's going to have to get ready for. And I know I'm looking way ahead of the playoffs, but that is the last time we saw Thompson was in the state championship. But, that's a change. Obviously, there's region changes as well that you're going to have to think of with a really good team like Hillcrest-Tuscaloosa coming into this region. So it's not just, well, you have your Hewitts, you have your Vestavias, Hoover will come in as 4th seed. No, you got a Hillcrest team that could potentially make a run there. You have a Tuscaloosa County team that's super hungry with a coach that probably should have beaten Thompson in that crazy game that Thompson won over Auburn. So you have teams that are really hungry to try to take Thompson down. Thompson has to continue to stay hungry, to continue to win like they have been winning.
Matthew, a constant theme here is staying hungry. That's something that I do all the time, which is why I'm planning on eating off of people's grills here in the pregame show. My question to you, Matthew, what do you feel makes tonight's game such an intriguing one to start off the season?
Well, you got to love the neighbor state matchup. It's a great rivalry. Maybe that's not the right word, but it's a great test of Georgia and Alabama right out of the gate. We know what's going on the college recruiting trail. That's become a really interesting battle between Georgia, Auburn, Alabama. And so to bring it down to our level, Thompson in the state championship game last year, Grayson, what a breath away from their state championship game last year. And what a barometer in week one.
Absolutely.
Great measuring stick.
And we're about to see football live and in person to kick off the season. I'm still pinching myself. It is finally here. All the waiting, all the talking is nearly done. We'll have a little bit more talking to do over the course of this hour. John, I often ask in our day job to produce what I call a Luntz's list. I give you a topic. You give me 5 things in return. I'm going to ask for that again here tonight. Minus Thompson and Grayson, a matchup that obviously is at the top of the charts. Give me the 5 most intriguing matchups in Alabama high school football this week, starting with number 5, and you're on the clock. You got about 3 minutes.
Obviously, a lot of these are going to be tomorrow instead of today because this game is on Thursday, so it can be on ESPN. But Central Phoenix City, the team that beat Thompson last year, they've lost Cam Coleman. They've lost some of their talented players. They start the season with Pinson Valley. Pretty good matchup there. Look, they're not the same as they were. Going up against his old school, Pinson traveling down to Phoenix City to take on Central there. So that's my number 5. I do expect Central to win that fairly easily, but intriguing matchup there with the whole Knicks family. Number 4 on the list, I'm going to go with the battle of number 1 in 4A versus number 1 in 6A. You'd say, this should also be a blowout. Saraland taking on Jackson. Jackson number 1 in 4A, Saraland number 1 in 6A. The game is at Saraland, and yes, Saraland should win. But once again, where's Ryan Williams? He's in Tuscaloosa now. He's not down at Saraland. Jackson, always a really good team down in Class 4A. Can they step up and beat a 6A or 7A team? Maybe not. but it's a good test for them. You talk about these games. I mean, a good test for both of these teams before they start the season. Well, Thompson went to Georgia. It didn't turn out well, but guess what? They turned that into a state championship at the end of the year. So it's a good measuring stick for all these teams. Number 3 on the list, number 1 in 5A versus number 2 in 6A. Ramsey, the top team in 5A, they're traveling to Parker. This is a good Birmingham City rivalry there. These are always two teams that are always in it, and Ramsey especially always competing for state championships since they moved back down to 5A from Class 6A. Like I mentioned, they played Grayson one year where they won the 6A state championship. Number 2 on the list, Florence. They are at Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa. This will be the first chance for us to see Hillcrest in Class 7A Region 3 now. They're taking on a team in Florence that Thompson beat pretty handily in the first round of the playoffs last year. Not the best team to play from Region 4, not the best 7A team to play, but once again, 7A competition, and we'll get to see them in that one at home. And then my number 1 game, maybe not the overall greatest matchup. There's a lot of like Alabama versus Florida matchups that we have, especially with Southern teams. Hoover is taking on Western out of Florida. I honestly don't know much about Western out of Florida, but I'm going to go with the AHSA Kickoff Classic that we were at last year for Opelika.
I was going to say, I don't remember booking that trip.
Thompson did beat Oklahoma. No, Vestavia. They are taking on Carver Montgomery in that game tomorrow. That is going to be a very fun game there, especially with the comments that Robert Evans made about Carver earlier this week. You can look those up. I won't repeat them here, but Carver, they're pretty solid team. They kind of hover around that 6-7-8 line, and of course Vestavia, they showed something last year. Vestavia's looking to not only make some noise to be a top 2 team, but they're going to try to make some noise to actually win the region. They had Thompson's number a couple of times, and Thompson was able to pull away from him ultimately. But I think Vestavia, if they keep things going, have a pretty good chance this season.
Matthew, I'm still trying to get used to Oklahoma being in the SEC.
Now
they're in Class 7A Region 3.
Yeah, that's right.
Who knew?
Could I add a 5A?
Please.
I'm excited to see the Moody Gainesville, Georgia game.
Absolutely.
You've got Josh Niblitz, one of his top assistants, coaching here in Warrior Stadium tonight, and Grayson's coach, and then Moody's head coach was an assistant under Coach Freeman. Yep. So I think that has the potential to be a pretty neat game as well.
Absolutely. Some great games happening here this week. We appreciate you tuning in to the Lowe's Warrior Game Day Show presented by Wayne Davis Construction and powered by JP Builders. For John and for Matthew, please join us on WarriorNationNetwork.org for continuing coverage leading up to kickoff and then the call of the game. We appreciate all of you Warrior faithful rooting us on throughout the entire season. We will see you again at the next home game.